It's been 25 years of fearless journalism. Tonight on Joy News Prime, the Joy Clean Ghana campaign continues to unravel more terrible conditions under which food sold to the general public is prepared. Today, our team found food vendors dipping their hands in food with sore hands.
It's peeling off. This is peeling, okay? And you use it to wash the meat with onga, whatever you call it. And that is what is used to wash the meat, prepared for us to eat. Innocent people eating in human body as a flavor.
Supreme Court turns down request seeking to halt ongoing construction of the National Cathedral.
The act that blocks this.
Also from today, 2.8 million customers of ECG can buy electricity from the comfort of their homes following the launch of ECG mobile application.
If all goes well, we will have implemented a new system starting this year whereby nobody will be able to steal electricity in Ghana again.
Plus, coalition of aggrieved student loan beneficiaries appealed to government for the immediate release of funds for the 2019-2020 academic year. The students say delayed disbursement of loan is affecting their academic lives.
Many of our members are actually sitting in the house. Meanwhile, school is ongoing. The beneficiaries didn't take first and second semester. We are now in the second semester. And as I speak with you, people are actually bleeding. They are crying.
My name is Aisha Ibrahim. Joy News Prime comes to you live from our studios in Kokomlimle in Accra on digital address GA0992535. We're also celebrating 25 years of fearless journalism. Please stay tuned in. Many thanks for choosing us, but please let me serve you this warning. Sorry, but what you're about to hear may totally disgust you. Today, AMA public health officials found some food operators dipping their hands in food with sore hands. These operators also did not have health cards and were found to be preparing the food in mud. Nancy Emefajiadosi has more on today's Joy Clean Ghana campaign.
The Clean Ghana team was at the Kwame Nkrumah Circle. We entered a gated compound housing 3 different food operators. They had all left their meals uncovered. Upon receiving a tip-off that the Clean Ghana team was close to the eatery, they started sweeping, causing dust to rise, while the meals remain uncovered.
When I said that that's nuisance, so the food is there openly and they are sweeping. You can just look at the surroundings that they are using in cooking. It's very nasty and very bad.
They were also cooking the food in mud. The AMA Environment Health Inspector, Madam Kuchi, ordered her team to take away the soup.
In food running, eko eduane no mu amo nkwan no mu eko na ne nkwan nyina kan fra na ya ba nti sa nkwan we a esi jaso no enne tanka sefo ya ma wo nton sa nkwan we e ma amanfo nti ye behwie sa nkwan we at disposing of.
Another eatery also had women cooking in the open while groceries lay on the bare floor.
So these are the food items that they have displayed that they are going to use to prepare food for the public consumption. Just look at how it has been displayed. The okra was chopped in the market. It was not even washed. And we know how these okra are being transported from the farm to the other areas. And you go to the market, the okra will not be washed, and they'll just chop it like that and come and use to prepare food for the public consumption.
But what we had just seen was the tip of the iceberg. We discovered the disposed rotten food and waste into the drain in front of their compound.
Today, as we are standing here, we want the proprietors and their workers to go for broom and then come and start desilting this drain. And then they will desil the drain today before and collect all the debris.
Madam, can you look for people to come and desil the drain and save your business? And so now we want the gutter to be desilted. Simple language now. Simple language now. Oh, listen to me. Simple language is this. We say desil the drain. You have 3 workers, or you say you and your workers, you are 3. Go get the people who can desil the drain, bring them here. We open the drain, they are desilting the drain. We go back there, we continue the work. Once the drain is desilting is ongoing. It's simple. We cannot wait for the time you want to do it.
We need to organize.
No. Okay, then don't sell your food until the drain is clean.
So after the hula badu, after the quarrel and everything that we didn't mind, you see that they have started doing the work.
The team then visited the VIP station to carry sanitation inspection as they waited for their vans to carry unwholesome food away from the eateries. The inspectors found washrooms of the VIP station clean enough.
I think VIP is doing well when it's come to liquid waste management, because looking at their washroom, it's neat and all the WCs are clean.
Just when the team returned to the 3 chop bars to carry away the seized unwholesome food, we found another fufu joint.
Now, we work for no that's the one. We now they put inside. So, former high income baby, we show on our work for no. I can't. So, we'll stop you from preparing the food here. I go.
Or test.
Me paucho.
As the team started carrying out its operation, a customer who was enjoying the meal lauded the team.
If you come as in the dry is here, but you are to say, come up, but you need to be free. So it's the city. I did about but tomorrow I have a chair say, baby, oh, yeah, baby, free, but yes, Tiasrama, the moon is my pa.
The sanitation guards carried the food away. Soon, we returned to the first food joint, only to discover the food was being sold to unsuspecting customers.
You've seen how this food is being displayed here so neatly and the food is being garnished. Look at the food and look at where the food is cooked. You understand? So it means the food here that they are selling has already been contaminated. You understand? So the food they are selling and the soup that is still on the fire, we are taking everything away. We are not going to allow them to sell it. So please carry all this food and put it in the car.
The team took everything away. No amount of plea will convince the inspectors. Just close to the kitchen is the barbering shop. Madam Florence Kuchi was unhappy. She quickly got angry after spotting what she called disgusting. A woman was deep frying the chicken in the open. But that wasn't the problem. She was dipping the steamed chicken in another solution with an open sore on the hand.
The blood is oozing, so you use it to wash what for what? You using this to wash what? What were you washing?
Her skin was also peeling off. The health inspectors were worried that parts of her skin could easily end up in the food.
Look, just watch. No, look at this. It's peeling off. This is peeling. Okay? And you use it to wash the meat. With onga, whatever you call it. And that is what is used to wash the meat. Prepared for us to eat. Innocent people eating in human body as a flavor.
There was another lady with fresh and uncovered sore.
It's disgusting. It's disgusting because, you see, because of something small, because this lady will spend, she has a sore on the hand. And the owner, the proprietor of this facility is not even thinking about the health of this poor girl. She's still using the sore's hand in working.
Inspector Sitanga called for the arrest until the owners of the perpetrators showed up.
Okay, take her, pick her up. Where is the other girl? Take her along. Arrest the girl too. Take them along. We send them to the, when the proprietor comes to come and answer questions why they should use their hands infected with sauce to prepare the meat for public consumption.
In the middle of this compound is also a heap of garbage buzzing with flies.
Now, moon sister baller, no moon pet problems is here. I want to see the baller all collected from now. Guess now with immediate effect.
Few meters away from the garbage is a chicken grill. The owner was pardoned for not possessing a health card, but shortly, the team noticed the operator had covered his meat with cement paper. A gentle rub of the cement paper showed powdery substance believed to be cement.
Let's see. See, this is cement paper. This is cement paper.
Put everything inside. Put it inside.
This is cement paper. And you are using this.
Put it inside.
You are using this.
Put it inside.
Please. It is not good. See, cement paper. Cement.
Carry it, go and put it in the car.
Madam Kuchi ended with a warning to all of you.
Next week, it is going to be packed more than this. So it may be in your community. So everybody should be, so they should be in the lookout.
Oh my God, this is shocking. Meanwhile, General Secretary of the Christian Council of Ghana, Reverend Dr. Cyril Fayose, has called on city authorities and government to crack the whip on sanitation offenders. This, he believes, is the best way to sustain the gains being made with the Clean Ghana campaign. Reverend Fayose wants all churches in Ghana to support the initiative.
That is made up of about 71 Christian and maybe about another 20% Muslim. We are almost 100% a religious nation. So there is something fundamentally wrong if we are such religious people, but then we have a very filthy society. Because there's a saying that cleanliness is next to godliness. So if we are so godly, how come that we are so filthy? Christian Council of Ghana has its own project on sanitation. What we are trying to do is to separate our waste and at least put the plastics in a different bin and try to recycle them by collecting them from our homes, taking them to collection points, mainly at our church premises, and then recycling companies will come for it. If all the churches in Ghana and all the religious organizations in Ghana are able to do that, Ghana, Accra and Ghana will be clean. We would have solved at least a major part of our sanitation problem. So yes, I support what Joy FM is doing, and if there's anything we can do as Christian Council of Ghana, as religious leaders, in terms of educating our people, will help in that campaign. Yes, I think it must be tackled on all fronts, from all sectors. We must do the educational campaign. We must sensitize people. We must teach people good ways of taking care of themselves, their hygiene, and so on. But then enforcement is extremely important. Enforcement, we must crack the whip. Enforcement must be carried out, and people who fall foul must be severely punished. And that way, they say the human animal is more creative when put under pressure. If there's no pressure, they relax and do all kinds of things.
Away from the Clean Ghana campaign, residents living along the Chemu Lagoon at Choko here in Accra are raising concerns about the volume of filth in the Chemu Lagoon. According to the residents, the lagoon, which flows into the Atlantic Ocean, has been polluted for some time now due to indiscriminate waste disposal by some residents. They say the lagoon no longer breeds fish but mosquitoes. Joy News' Nicholas Ekoyamwa visited the community and has come through with this report.
This is the Chemu Lagoon at Choko. Dansuman and Shaibu are some of the communities surrounding the lagoon. Inhabitants here are mostly fishermen and fishmongers. The lagoon, which separates Ablekuma South from Ablekuma West in the Greater Accra region, is currently filled with a lot of waste, which residents say poses great danger. The lagoon was dredged as part of a construction of a floating bridge by the Member of Parliament for Ablekuma West, Eresla Owusu Ekufo. But there are still heaps of garbage choking it. With the water body now breeding mosquitoes, malaria cases are increasing, they say.
Ebola ne wahano. It's not a good hygienic surrounding because of malaria.
There are lots of malaria cases in this area. Whenever someone gets sick, the person is diagnosed with malaria. I believe the filthy nature of the lagoon contributes to the malaria cases here. If the garbage is collected, the malaria cases can be reduced or even prevented.
That's good, no, but the rubbish is fetters. They take the boiler, they put inside the gutter, but they put the rubbish inside. That's why the mosquito in the fetters. If you do good, it will do for us.
The garbage is really affecting us here. I think dustbins can be provided to help dispose our waste properly. Because there are no bins, residents dump the garbage into the lagoon, which is not safe.
It's not safe.
People throw refuse into the lagoon. It is a big problem because I live closer to the lagoon. People throw the rubbish right behind my window.
Member of Parliament for Ablekuma West, Ursula Owusu Ekufo, says she will need the help of the Coastal Development Authority, the Sanitation Ministry, and the Ministry of Environment, Science and Technology to regenerate the lagoon and make it a tourist attraction.
We also need more refuse containers alongside this area so people are not tempted because they don't have any alternative to throw garbage into the lagoon. It's important that we clean up this lagoon because if we leave it alone, it can regenerate itself. And since it accesses the sea as well, this can also be cleaned up and become a tourist attraction. The Ministry of Sanitation, the Ministry of Environment, and the MPs, we can work together, and the Coastal Development Authority as well. We can work together to clean up this space.
Minister of Environment, Science, Technology and Innovation, Professor Frimpong Boateng, highlighted some plans for the community.
There's a lot of filth and we have to find a way of helping them. And thank God the Minister for Sanitation is coming up with a strategy that will bring a lot of stakeholders together. Ministry of Local Government, my ministry, Works and Housing, and the Environmental Service Providers Association, so that we'll find a way of managing the waste here on a daily basis.
Until these plans are undertaken, residents will continue to be exposed to the worst filth and diseases. Nicholas Ekoyamwa's report for Joy News.
Let's now turn our attention to the Supreme Court, where the Apex Court Tuesday turned down requests seeking to have it halt ongoing construction works on the National Cathedral. A businessman, Jonathan Holm, alleges that government has breached portions of the Constitution in allowing state land to be used in a manner that does not serve the public interest. He wants a declaration of the action as unconstitutional with the land returned to its original owners. Court correspondent Joseph Akable was at the Apex Court as it ruled that appropriate remedies exist to be used by the court to provide remedies if it rules against the state in the substantive case.
Supreme Court in January 2019 ruled in favor of the Attorney General's office, saying the state's support in the construction of the National Cathedral is backed by law. Shortly after, businessman Jonathan Holm dragged the AG to the court, saying the state allocating land for the construction is unconstitutional. He also urged the court to hold government in contempt for allowing the construction to go on despite a pending case. This was dismissed by the court. The lawyers headed once again to the Apex Court, this time around to ask that the construction be halted. Chief State Attorney Dorothy Friansa urged the court to dismiss the case, saying the state will suffer irreparable damage if construction is put on hold. She explained contractors are currently on site with clearly defined timelines. Any act that blocks this process will cause the state to incur financial losses that cannot be remedied. The 7-member panel presided over by Chief Justice Kwesi Enin-Yabua today ruled that appropriate remedies exist to be used by the court if it rules against the state in a substantive case. The court has meanwhile set April 29 to deliver its judgment in a case filed by former Deputy AG Dominic Ayene challenging the eligibility of Martin Amidu as special prosecutor.
Still to come in this bulletin from today, 2.8 million customers of ECG can buy electricity from the comfort of their homes following the launch of ECG mobile application.
If all goes well, we will have implemented a new system starting this year whereby nobody will be able to steal electricity in Ghana again.
Also, coalition of aggrieved student loan beneficiaries appeals to government for the immediate release of funds for the 2019-2020 academic year. The students say delayed disbursement of loan is affecting their academic lives.
Many of our members are actually sitting in the house. Meanwhile, school is ongoing. The beneficiaries didn't take first and second semester. We are now in the second semester. And as I speak with you, people are actually bleeding. They are crying.
Please stay tuned in. We're back in a jiffy. Welcome back to Journey Inspiring. Now to the rest of our story. Some 2.8 million customers of ECG, representing 73% of the utility company's customer base, can from today, Tuesday, buy electricity from the comfort of their homes following the launch of the ECG mobile application. ECG Power Management of ECG is confident over 90% of its customers are expected to be rolled onto the mobile application by the end of 2020. But with the company currently struggling with system losses, it's been charged to put in place effective technology to eliminate revenue leakages. Vice President Dr. Mahamadou Baumia said this at the launch of the ECG Power app at the company's headquarters here in Accra.
Issue of solving the collection problem at ECG is a major part of solving the energy issue in Ghana. And I think this app also enhances collection, but I am aware, because I've been talking to the board chairman, the MD, that they are really thinking about applying technology. So applying technology, and I mean artificial intelligence and remote sensors, which sounds a bit complicated, but it's fairly simple in the collection process. And I know that they are piloting a system now, and by the grace of God, if all goes well, we will have implemented a new system starting this year, whereby nobody will be able to steal electricity in Ghana again. Nobody. It's a major thing that the ECG is likely to implement this year. So we are glad that ECG has committed itself to deploy in a coordinated manner more smart meters into the system, with the goal of further expanding coverage to the areas which do not yet have such smart meters in the place, and to encourage expanded use of ECG power through appropriate public relations activities. We as government, ladies and gentlemen, believe in local solutions to tackling local problems. And I want to express my congratulations to the team of ECG staff that developed this application. I urge the management of ECG to continue to provide your staff with the necessary support, tools, and productivity enhancing incentives to deliver on the job. Like Oliver Twist, we look forward to more innovative and productivity-enhancing measures to improve efficiency, and in so doing, reducing the cost of electricity to Ghanaians.
The coalition of aggrieved student loan beneficiaries are making a passionate appeal for the immediate release of funds for the 2019-2020 academic year. A statement released by the group says thousands of tertiary students across the country are going through with their academic life coming to a halt. The students are planning to hit the streets on February 28 if the president does not intervene. Here's the head of operations for the coalition, Simon.
The whole issue started 2018 coming. Series consultations were made. We tried to follow up to the appropriate quarters to find out why there is delay in disbursement. Every day we try to do that. Then they tell us that very soon, and very soon. Up to now, we even wrote a lot of press releases here and there. We've been following up. Many of our members are actually sitting in the house. Meanwhile, school is ongoing. You see, we just don't know what is happening. Anytime you go to them, they will tell you that there are no funds available. Some of the beneficiaries didn't take first and second semester. We are now in the second semester. And as I speak with you, many of the students, we have a common platform that all the campuses across the length and breadth of this country are seriously in the house. People are actually bleeding. They are crying. We are many. I cannot give you figures as in the number. Many of these students venture into the student loan to be able to help them undertake, pay school fees and buy handouts and all other things on campus. Many students were walked out from the exam. Yes, a lot of students have attested to that fact. And if you are a special handout like this, if you are unable to access the handout, how are you going to? Even psychologically, emotionally, and physically, you are disturbed. So you can imagine the kind of results that many of these beneficiaries will be getting.
Mewell PR manager for the Students' Loan Trust Fund, George Ferguson, says the delay is as a result of government's failure to release the monies.
A number of reasons account for it. I have explained recently that our funding sources are mainly from the GET Fund, the Communication Service Tax, and also from borrowers who are now repaying. Now, as far as GET Fund and Communication Service Tax are concerned, we don't have control over how soon it comes. These are funds that we depend on to also give to students. What we have control over is collecting loans, recovering loans from borrowers. And so what has been happening is that for the past few months, most of the payments we have been making have been from monies that we've recovered from borrowers. You know, and so because of this, we've put in place a lot of strategies to more aggressively recover loans, because that's what we can control. That's what we can fully rely on. What is accounting for the delays is delays in GET Fund giving us monies to pay on to students. That is the basic problem. So it's as simple as that. Monies from GET Fund have not come in time, and so our hands are tied. So what we've been doing, it's inaccurate to say we've not paid monies at all. What we've been doing is, as and when we collect money from borrowers, we pay any number of students that money can afford to pay. So we've been paying in batches. So let's say that for the this academic year, we've so far paid a little. At my last check, sometime late last week, a little over 9 million Ghana cedis to students. There's a significant number that we still have to pay, but we continue to pay in batches. So on a weekly basis, we are making some payments. However, it's still not enough to take care of everybody, and that is the reason why we continue to have agitation from students.
Last week, Vice President Dr. Mahamadou Bawumia touted government's decision to increase the monies loaned to students as one of the NPP's achievements. But Mr. Ferguson said this has contributed to the disbursement challenges.
Yes, there was a 50% increment. It was.
So previously, how much were you paying?
So previously, the minimum amount we were paying to students was, I think, 1,000 cedis, and the maximum was 2,000. Today, the minimum is 1,005, and the maximum is 3,000. So there's been a significant increase in the loan amounts that we pay out. It is part of the reason, because I mean, obviously, if when the amount is increased, you are suddenly, even if you don't have new applicants, you are suddenly paying out a lot more than you used to. So yes, it's affected our cash flow. I mean, I've said before that demonstration is the right of every citizen. So I don't want to comment on that. What I can say is that we are continuing to pay. As I said, week in, week out, we are making payments, except that it's not everybody is not getting it. I would say to the students that we understand your frustration. We are frustrated as well, because that is why we come to work every day, to make.
If you just joined us, we're still live on Joy News Prime. Welcome back to Joy News Prime. Let's do the rest of our stories. And displaced traders at Kumasi Central Market, which is being demolished for reconstruction, have taken over the streets to conduct business. City authorities have ordered over 1,000 shops to be pulled down for commencement of the second phase of the Cathedral redevelopment project. Nana Senso Mensa has been interacting with some of the affected traders who say they have no suitable alternative to undertake the activities.
The front elevation of the old Central Market, which housed shops of both concrete and wooden structures, has been razed down. Traders say they find everything right about the redevelopment of the market, but they want authorities to properly resettle them to continue their businesses.
Okay, now what can we be to say omubuye na so musiria say be amusabe come shop.
Say ya table so omusi ye wie a ye nsabe kan ye table nti ye bompa ye so ombe wie a omudi table ne beba na Ghana mpanyimfo na duru ho no ma wo obi a ye mpese ye de be ma ne ya ton ni nyina ama nipa foforo eno kwa ne ade ye problem nti so omu wie ne afisi ye nsabe kan ye de ye bompa ye ama omu se nyamenye wo madom no omu nwie no mu wi ayenso ye ni baje ne nya ba bi atena aton wade.
Okay, so what she's saying is that she used to ply her business here at the Central Market, but now that they have demolished the whole Central Market and then they are rebuilding the Central Market, her only fear is that after they build the market, she might not get access to a shop where she used to be, as it has been happening at the first phase of the Cathedral Market. So she is pleading on authorities to make sure that the needful is done in terms of allocating the market to the rightful owners. So let's move to the next person. Mami Pacho Benisi. Now so who did our Central Market in Ebubuno? Is this a fan of Duja? May I aware say Mamu take it some call other markets.
Oh my, take it say a risk cost near Quayano. A man for the blow table since so baby. What time was baby Cassie and Corner? A man for that bread. Baby could be almost a weird as I say in the Masaba. I want the my blessed be a place say the Honor. I'm going to know. A man for that bread. Mono at Jihon, a good tie, Saboson chance, and with the Evacotinum.
Okay, you're frozen. Mafia. So this is Mafia. She is also a displaced trader who once plied her business at the Central Market, where it's now demolished. And then she's saying that she was referred to do her business at race course, but when she got to the place that has been allocated to her, it is somehow some other people's also place. So she doesn't feel comfortable. The business is also bad over there, so she hopes that she will get a different place. So she's been plying her business alongside the road here, which is very, very risky. I want to ask her, are you not afraid of your life? Where you want to show life? Say, can we travel on the visa?
Miss Roy, there's a man, there's a Miss Roy, can't try nature, Miss Roy, as Miss Roy.
In a reaction to concerns of the traders, city authorities say a detailed and evacuation plan is in place to relocate all affected traders. Efia Kunadu speaks for the Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly.
The traders are in two badges. Those who are into foodstuffs have been taken to or has been allocated the Nanefia Kobi market, which we normally call the Abinchi market. So that's those for the foodstuff. However, those with the clothing and others are going to the risk course markets. And as part of it, we give them tickets to register them, as in to give them shirts to move in the 2,000 and over empty shirts that we've assigned them. And we've been dealing with their executives there. So the whole of last week, we're transporting their goods, as in their tables and other things, to the risk course markets. And then each of them knows how or know where they are going to sit, because we ask them to do the balloting themselves.
Nana Asenso Mensah reporting
Two girls, both age 15, reported missing by the Ghana Police Service a week ago, have been found at Gomwanyanyano in the company of 6 young men who took turns to sexually abuse them. According to ASP Fiatenge, 4 of the 6 men between 25 and 30 years are being arraigned before court.
The police have arrested 4 suspects and still pursuing 2 others who harbored 2 teenagers and sexually abused them in turns. Those arrested are Benjamin Mensah, Vincent Avi, Samuel Otu, Kingsley Chidi, with 2 others whose names have only been given as Seth and Senior, who are presently at large. The brief facts are that a report was made to the Odoko police on the 8th of February by the parents of 2 missing girls who left for school and never returned. Whilst the police was still investigating the whereabouts of these girls in earnest, it was established that on the 7th February 2020 at about 6:50 a.m., both victims left their respective homes for school at Malam. While school was in session, victims left school unceremoniously around 11 a.m. to meet one Seth and Senior, now at large, at Makati Hills. Both suspects had sexual intercourse with the victims and later left them to their fate. Later that day, a senior brother to one of the victims spotted them in a desperate situation on his way back home at Malam Junction and questioned them as to why they were loitering about during school hours. They were unable to come out with tangible reasons, and for fear of being reprimanded, they absconded and sought refuge at Gomwa Nyinyanu near Kaswa in the central region. On the 13th of February 2020, an auntie to one of the victims received a telephone call from one Samuel Otu to the effect that the victims were lodging at his end and requested for some changing clothes and money for their upkeep, since the girls had intentions of spending about a month with them. Luck eluded them on the 14th of February 2020 around 10:30 p.m. A joint operation between the Gbawilafa Police and Nyenyanu District Police Command led to the arrest of all 4 suspects at their separate abodes in Kaswa. 2 are on the run and efforts are still underway to get them apprehended.
The missing girls were reported to have left home on February 7, 2020 until one of the girls called home to ask for money and clothes. ASP Fiatenge had this advice for parents.
Now, what is the police saying? The police would like to remind parents of our parental responsibilities, of constant interaction with our wards, needed discipline, supervision, and taking keen interest in issues that concerns our own children. Let's not only invest our time in our work, but also devote some time in the upbringing of our children. Sometimes, or most times, what we see is that children are left to do whatever they like, going out unchecked, and later become the problem of society and security services. Let me also emphasize that the domestic violence and victim support units that the police has do not only exist to investigate issues concerning abuses. They also offer some psychological assistance and counseling to children who are drifting from the acceptable societal standards or norms. So parents can also seek the support of those units. And again, we will also appeal to the general public to also question children who are seen in some compromised circumstance and ask them to go home. It is our all responsibility to ensure that these children are brought up in the best way that we deserve, and that the trend is very worrying. Thank you. Okay. The parents were here. We've had extensive conversation with them or interaction with them, and to a father, it is very disappointing to him. In fact, he said a lot about the ward, and he's even asking that if there are any social services, they take over the girl. That is what the father was requesting for. But what I think is that we have some parental responsibilities, and these are very key. We need to take interest in our children and make sure that we bring them up in the way that society expects. So every parent should be up and doing. We all have a responsibility to make sure that these children that we are bringing up are not left alone. If they need any
Ministerial Task Force on Illegal Mining, Haji Alima Mahama, says less than 34 excavators remain unaccounted for and not the figures being put out. In a statement on the floor, the Minister for Local Government assured government is committed to bringing those responsible for the missing equipment to book.
Mr. Speaker, the whole hula baloo about excavators was because we had an audit report. We audited the seized excavators where they were. We went to the auditor's report indicated that there were excavators in Tema, 34 were brought in, but they did not get the real figure, the 34 number. And therefore we have asked for an investigation, and the investigation is on. When the investigative authority have finished with their work, the report will be presented. And if there is a need for any prosecution, the prosecution will accordingly be conducted. That is why the situation is. So when you talk about figures of missing excavators, we don't know where you are getting that information from.
Well, Haji Alima Mahama clarified that when she earlier said 34 excavators remain unaccounted for, she said she only meant that is what triggered the broader investigation. She didn't mean there are 34 missing excavators.
This whole issue about missing excavators came out because of an audit that occurred. And they went to Tema, looked at the books, a station where some excavators had been placed. And the books indicated that 34 excavators had been sent there, but they were not there. So that's when we raised the query. If the books indicate that 34 excavators are here, where are they? So it was then sent, I'm the Interministerial Committee Chairman, then sent it to for investigation. So the proper thing to do was to get it investigated. So that's why all this issue came out that they are missing excavators. Of course, we had a lot more of excavators, but the missing issue came because 34 excavators that were entered in a book in Tema, a location in Tema, were physically not there. So we've asked that they investigate. What happened to the 34 excavators? Where are they? And we are not saying that somebody stole them or whatever. We don't know. The investigating report will then tell us where they've gone to, and we'll proceed from there. So if it raises grounds for prosecution, then the prosecution will be conducted. So it depends on what the person is saying. I'm not saying there are only 34 excavators. I'm only saying that the issue that triggered the investigation was when an audit was commissioned, and the audited report indicated that the books in the Tema location indicated 34 excavators. But on inspection, the number was not 34.
So how many excavators are missing? Do we have an idea what the figure is yet following?
No, I'm saying that now, all from our auditing point of view, it's 34 issue that a query was raised on, and they are And we asked that there should be investigation. So there will be investigation, and eventually an investigation report will come out.
Meanwhile, the minority in Parliament want the President Kufuor held accountable for the missing excavators and other seized equipment. In a statement on the floor of the House, Tamale North MP Al-Hassan Suyini said the House should take interest in how money it's approved for the fight against illegal mining is being used.
Mr. Speaker, as leaders of the nation, never before has it become imperative, at least in the face of these reports of murky political associations and conspiracies, for us to act to assure all citizens that their resources, confidence, and support, when reposed in us, will not be in vain. His Excellency the President, who boldly put his presidency on the line to demonstrate how much this cause meant to him, if for nothing at all, Mr. Speaker, has his presidency to say. And it will be important that he starts by accounting for, and to the people of Ghana, all equipment, vehicles, weapons, ammunition, and gold, which were seized and kept by officers he commissioned to help end illegal mining, and if necessary, penalize all who are proven to have been negligent or complicit in what may have gone wrong. Mr. Speaker, in the face of what is clearly less than a successful campaign, I suggest humbly that your Parliament also shows more interest in how funds approved for this exercise to the various institutions have truly been expended and the results attained.
Director of Operations of the National Small Scale Miners Association, Emmanuel Urenchi, says suing government for the over 22 months ban on the operations is a possibility. Speaking to Joy News, he said apart from financial losses, it has become riskier to venture into the small scale mining business in Ghana now.
Members were banned from operating for close to 2 years. These are members, like I said, have contracted loans to work, and everything just came to a standstill. I said that this ban has moved the industry to about 10 years back. What that means is that investment, the global investment of the small scale industry in Ghana has reduced, and that means that investing in occupational health and safety issues with environmental care and all that also has reduced. It's meant that members will need to now work even harder in order to attract investment. Banks have closed their doors because they are not setting us to the next government reaction will be. And so it is even more difficult to source for facilities for the industry.
Do you hear some members in your association contemplating seeking legal action? Or you are all letting sleeping dogs lie?
I cannot speak for every member, and as it stands now, you know, I was also affected as a small scale miner. The thought has actually dropped in mind. I know there are a lot of consultations going on, but you see, the small scale miner is not very sophisticated. And I'll explain the reason why I'm saying that. The small scale miner is a patriotic citizen who wants to participate in the natural resources exploitation of this country using the small window that's left for Ghanaians by the Minerals and Mining Act, Act 703, and its various amendments. And what the small scale miner seeks to do is to create employment. I'm talking about the licensed small scale miners, create employment, promote responsible mining, contribute to the social.
The Korboy's shining girls couldn't shine in their home when they locked horns with Presbyterian Senior High Technical School, Ebri St. Dominic Senior High Technical School, and Nkoko Senior High School in the Eastern Regional qualifiers of the National Science and Maths Quiz. The Presby Senior High Technical School contestants put up an outstanding performance and dominated the contest to seal their qualification. 3 other schools, including Ebri Girls Senior High School, narrowly won their contest to keep their campaign alive. Eastern Regional correspondent Maxwell Kudeko has been following proceedings and has come through with this report.
The Krobo Girls Senior High School contestants were whisked away by a tutor through the back door of the assembly hall immediately after the contest and were prevented from talking to the cameras. One of the contestants could not hold her tears when the quiz mistress declared Ebri Presbyterian Senior High Technical School winners of the competition. Ebri Presbyterian Senior High Technical School would be making a 3rd appearance at the national level. Some of the contestants assured lovers of the quiz to watch out for them in this year's contest at the national level.
Actually, the day they mentioned the ballot to us, I shouted, my heart leapt, because hearing schools like Kobo Girls and considering them relatively to us, it was very frightening. We are preparing very hard for this year's nationals contest. We expect us to be either in the finals or the semi-finals.
Ebri Girls Senior High School also escaped elimination narrowly by Apegusi Senior High School. In this contest, Ebri Girls faced off with Atifa Senior High Technical School, Takwase Community Senior High School, and Apegusi Senior High School. In the end, Ebri Girls Senior High School had 25 points, followed by Apegusi Senior High School with 23 points. Takwase Community Senior High School had 13 points, and Atifa Senior High School had 6 points. Let's hear from some of the Abugis.
Yes, we were really lucky on that one, and especially when we didn't get the proper number right, correct. It was really God's grace that helped us out. National contest, expect us at our best. We'll clear up any mistakes that we made and we'll learn from our past so that we can bring you the best, so that it can be an enjoyable moment.
But Apegusi Senior High School is determined to stage a ground comeback next year.
Next year, we prepare our juniors so that they will do well next year, because we are hoping for the first, but because of some 1 or 2 mistakes, we couldn't. So we will train our juniors so that next year they could make it. Which school they will meet, no matter the name of the school, they were able to win them. We should have won, but because we couldn't collaborate well, that's why we couldn't beat them with a point.
Let's now check some results from today's contest from the Eastern region, and it's come straight on your screens. Okay. For the interactive segment, and I'm sure you've been following that story where they were kept in a thick forest to undergo military training in preparation for the campaign to sever the Volta region from Ghana. But you know also the special operation by the 66th Artillery Regiment of the Ghana Armed Forces rounded up 20 of the recruits at a remote location. There was one single lady in that whole group. Let's see your comments. You posted that on Facebook, and we said military raid, only lady in group speaks to Joy News, and you've been listening and watching that on our Facebook page. Let's check out your comments so far. Romeo Ben Madison says, oh, the government is manipulating our minds. They take young vulnerable people to the Volta region, inject them and manipulate them. None of these people are from the towns nearby, not to talk of them being Evers. There is more here, but Tando Ike says issues are not adding up. So much inconsistencies in the interviews, lots of doubts here and there. But we need to be careful. If indeed there are some people hiding somewhere, planning whatever, let's not brush it away. Think twice. And Senior King Lucky Sylvester says, Mr. Journalist, please, you have to start by her name, her tribe, before all other questions. This is politics. They just want to tarnish the Voltaireans' identity and our image. This must stop. Collins Kwesi says, these people just want to hide under the umbrella of Western Togoland Volta to perpetrate their evil deeds. Nanado and his cohorts are aware of this thing. NS Cardinal says, MPP is behind this plot. They gathered people from across the country and brought them to Volta just for politics. And Conte Junior Michael says, out of frustration, no job in the country, so she thinks doing farming for white people is better than people teacher. And Abraham Dantata says they must take these people serious, arrest and jail leaders behind before it gets out of hand. Emmanuel Bento he says, look at how they have been brainwashed. Sometimes a bit of education and critical thinking is needed. It is hard to believe that an adult like her could believe such lies. Probably she might not be telling the full truth. We also posted another on the raging debate on the voters register, and what we put there is the voters register. The creation of a new voter register is both appropriate and timely, and that's coming from Mass Action Committee. You also have been following the conversation and the arguments by different civil society groups, political parties who say it is not right, the timing is wrong, but this committee is saying that it is actually right. Joanne says crooks, they know they have lost the election even before it begins. Dubious ways to make the non-existent numbers and votes. It will not work. Hashtag Wake Up Ghana. Rashid Sumaila says the power of brown envelopes. God is watching all of us. The peace we enjoy as a nation is now left in the hands of the EC. And those were your comments on Facebook. That will be it for the interactive segment. And that will also be it for the bulletin tonight. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. Many thanks for watching. And on behalf of the rest of the production team, have a good evening.